This evening we are here in the Leisure World Administration office and in the office of Leisure World Administrator Bill Narang. Originally we had a committee of Mr. Narang, Dave Saunders, editor of the Golden Rain News, George Bedford, Leisure World Disaster or Earthquake Preparedness Coordinator, and Jim Clow and myself, Hal Robertson, representing the Seal Beach Leisure World Video Producers Club. We decided to make this video to help all of us to be better prepared for any eventual disaster earthquake we might have in the future. I think we all remember just recently that we were awakened very early in the morning on January 17th to a 6.8 earthquake. And maybe we are saying it can't happen here, but Mr. Narang, being very close to the epicenter, has a different story to tell, and I think his story should be told to Leisure World. Mr. Narang, what did you do in the first 30 seconds when the earthquake started to shake?
Thank you, Hal. I think when you talk about preparedness for any kind of disaster, the experience you go through when you are confronted with this kind of disaster, you really wonder, are you really prepared to face an earthquake of 6.8 magnitude? You know, in Seal Beach Leisure World and in my professional and personal career, I thought I have been very well prepared. I have read, I have seen, I have trained. We have been working very closely in Seal Beach Leisure World to prepare a disaster preparedness manual. And all of the information about earthquake or any other disaster is written in here. Mr. Bedford has been advertising and publicizing in the newspaper to tell all of the residents of Leisure World how they need to be prepared. And I thought I was really prepared. But was I really prepared? Family that we live in San Fernando Valley with a very strange and devastating noise in the house. The first reaction was, contrary to the common belief that we should not panic, we did panic. Just in days what was going on in the house. The entire house was shaking, even though the earthquake was only for a few seconds, but it sure seemed like few hours. You would wonder and say, since you were prepared, so you would have probably survived the earthquake better than many other people. The feeling you get when an earthquake hits you of that magnitude is that you panic. Well, one of the best things we can ever do is not panic, stay calm. Think of those things that we have either read or we have been told by many agencies to react in that way. Well, my first reaction was to run. In the very few seconds, the electricity went away, the house was dark, nothing could be seen anywhere. I was upstairs on the second floor. I got out of my bed and I was at least sensible enough to grab the flashlight, which I always kept under the bed. I ran and wanted to go to my family, get my children, and get out of the house. We came outside, saw my daughters and my wife, and began to run on the stairs. Came down, and wanted to find my son and my mom in the house. But one thing I forgot at that point, did not put my shoes on, had only my pajamas, and we were all screaming and yelling. And yes, I did not turn the flashlight on either. We're running in the dark because we are so terrified. As I come down in my house, I was about to run over the glass, and my son somehow, with the blessing of God, I presume, that he yelled and shouted, "Dad, don't come here, there is glass." And as you know, I was not wearing the shoes. We ultimately somehow got all together and ran outside the house, opened the door and came out, and in our house we have a fence around the house. And we're standing out there, we want to get outside to our driveway, but we always put a padlock at night just before we go to sleep. Now we're looking for keys. None of us have keys. We don't know where to go. We just stood there and wanted to get back in the house so we can get the keys. Was because along with the fish tank and everything else in the house, everything was all over the place. Things had fallen. The first minute was nothing but anxiety, chaos, and not knowing what to do in the dark, so cold, and we had no clothes on, no shoes on, and we were all trying to run outside of the house. Somehow we managed to go back in, and the sense began to come into your thinking process, and we turned the flashlight on and went in and found one set of keys somewhere. We came out, opened the door, and got into our car, and we were sitting on the road. And the first few minutes we were trying to assess what really has happened. By the way, we could not find our emergency kit because we didn't know where it was. Many years in the garage was on top of the cars. Few more minutes passed by, and now the light was coming, and we were just sitting terrified in the car, had nowhere to find things. I want to share with you in this tape that we must practice preparedness. It's great to read this manual. It's great to read the newspaper article that George Bedford puts in. It is wonderful to have an emergency kit. It is so nice to have the water that you want to store. It is great that you secure some of things in your house. I had the opportunity just recently to visit one unit in Leisure World, and I shared my experiences, and you will be able to see some of the pictures that I feel that why we need to practice. Some key points I'd like to share with you about practice, that every night before you go to sleep, you must grab your flashlight, pick it up, turn it on, put it back. Grab your shoes where you're keeping them, pick them up, bring close to you, put them back. Know exactly where your emergency kit is. If you're going to keep your water outside somewhere, remember it so you can grab the bag and leave. Don't have anything in your apartment sitting which is not properly anchored. The glass, the dishes, the expensive figurines or ceramics or any collections you have, be assured a 6.8 or a better earthquake, everything is going to come down. You will be able to see some of the pictures that I have shared with you in Mr. Robinson's apartment, that we felt if 6.8 hit here, what would happen to all of the things, that he had in his apartment. Where was his flashlight? How the things were sitting in his bedroom, in the living room, in the kitchen. He has some wonderful ideas in the apartment, I'm sure, that he'll be able to share with you, and you must practice. You got to know how you're going to get out of the apartment. If that door is blocked, you must know where your keys are, where your purse is, where your wallet is. And yes, if you need glasses, make sure you can find your glasses, because you're going to be having tough time going out without your glasses. You will be reading articles, you will be reading more things as they're coming along, but one thing, please practice every single night before you go to sleep. Know how you're going to get out. Have a flashlight, put some other flashlights around, make sure batteries are checked, and you know exactly where you're going to go, and stand in the open. Remember, in an earthquake, Seal Beach Leisure World probably is one of the safest places to be around. And you got to know how you're going to be able to survive the first 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, or 40 hours. Chances are you're not going to have any opportunity to get any help from outside agencies, because the roads may be blocked, the telephones are not going to work, electricity is not going to be there. And yes, how are you going to survive that? If you have practiced your preparedness, you have a better chance of survival. You really can stay calm and make sure that you follow the practices of preparedness that you have been practicing for time and time and time again. I hope that none of you in Seal Beach or in Leisure World ever have to go through an experience such as I have gone through. Robertson, I want to share some things with you in your apartment. You have this grandfather clock, and the door is not properly latched. This clock is going to, the first thing is going to happen is that this clock is going to come down. You have these pictures that you have all around, they are going to probably fall on the ground. Crystal and your decoration items, I'm going to pick up one or two and show you. They're sitting just like that. These expensive items, all of these are going to be either on these tiles here, or they're going to be on the other side. You will lose most, if not all of it. And the other thing it's going to do, it's going to become a hazard for you. If the earthquake happened in the nighttime, this glass will break. Most of your items are expensive and they are glass. And these shelves will definitely come off.
Oh yeah.
You see, you can pick them up.
Yep. They'll slide.
These shelves will immediately slide. Going to either fall out. In this case, it will not fall out because it's secure. But the glass in here is going to probably break, and these items are going to be damaged inside. The other possibility is that you have this in two pieces. In my house, I did not have the top part bolted to the base. I am not sure whether you have it bolted, but if you do, you should be able to move this if it's not bolted. Let's go further. If you want to look at some other things, your lamp, if earthquake happened, if it is not anchored down, this is ceramic, very expensive thing. As you notice, I can just touch it and it'll be down. And it'll probably fall this way or it may go that way. Pictures will move. All your expensive pictures you have here, even though they don't have glass, but most of these are going to be fallen. In my dining room, we have the same thing as you do. This whole entire thing is on the floor. You have carpet, most probably these things will survive, but they will be damaged. The idea is that somebody's now talking about is that maybe we should get valve core or some sort of an item to anchor some of these things. This is a nice expensive thing, you may be collecting it for a long time. This would be broken. Yep, it would be gone. Even if it fell on the carpet, it's going to break.
Sure.
If this, we don't know how. See? I mean, you touch it and it moves, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine 6.8? This is going to go.
Sure.
It's going to be on the floor. And this is on the floor. All these books. In my house, I have an encyclopedia. They are heavy book, much heavier than this. All those things were on the floor. Now, can you imagine? Just think. This is your bedroom. And we're going to go in the bedroom and we'll show you. All these items are down. This is down. This stuff is down. And you're trying to get out of your bedroom, right? That's what we need to just imagine and vision what will happen here. And George has been writing articles again, to be prepared. We all have been very well educated and prepared. You have a manual that we read every day, newspaper. Dave Saunders publicizes articles in there. But we want to share with you that you want to be prepared, but practice your preparedness. And maybe, Mr. Robertson, you want to go in the bedroom and show us how would you get up if 4:30 in the morning you were woken up with a 6.7 earthquake. What would you do? Where is your flashlight? Where are your shoes? Where are your glasses?
Yep.
What are all the important things that you need to survive even? Maybe we should see that in the bedroom, George, and look at it.
Maybe we should bring in some shoes?
Well, we will see first how you have them. Don't bring them.
They're not there now.
Well, that's what I want to show everybody,
We should put maybe some Velcro underneath here.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
Securing anything you can.
Yeah.
I learned was you never want to put anything over your head when you're sleeping. See that frame?
Yeah.
That frame
No glass.
is no glass, but it's still going to fall. It may hurt you.
Right.
This probably will fall. Things are going to be falling in this place if a major earthquake did happen. So when you get up and you want to go, this is where preparedness comes. You have a flashlight hanging by your bed.
Yeah.
Excellent. But what you want to do is, Mr. Robertson, you want to go there and every night before you go to sleep,
Check it.
you got to do one thing. You must do this. You sit on your bed every night,
See if it works.
grab your light, and not only that, you turn it on
Try it.
and make sure that, you see this thing, you'll be so nervous, you're going to try to get this thing out of there. It's going to be a hassle.
Break it. Put it on the floor. Right.
You may want to consider another suggestion. You may want to keep your light here, and as you get up, the first thing you do is you grab your light. And every night you practice it. Your shoes. I don't see your shoes in
Put
here.
them right back in there.
Somewhere they got to be close by so you know that you can put your shoes on and run quick. Practice it at night every time. Pick up your light, pick up your shoes.
I tried to get a plug-in light the other day.
Excellent idea.
Couldn't get one.
Well, they are available.
Ace Hardware.
They are available now. What we need to consider, there are some lights, George, I asked George to look into it. They are small lights. You plug them in, and when the electricity goes away, the light automatically comes on.
Right.
And you grab that light and you take that with you, and that becomes a flashlight. It's always charged, but again, practice. Make sure that every night you take that light off So you know that it works when the electricity is not there.
Right.
Now this is what everybody should consider putting.
Mm-hmm.
It's close by, but remember one thing, you're going to be very nervous. You're going through hard time. You want to worry about your wife, you want to worry about yourself. And can you imagine you grabbing this and you having a flashlight and you're trying to put your shoes on, George? Practice. That's what we need. I mean, just think about it. Even not nervous, earthquake is not going on.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine coordinating our brain? You know what happens? Stupidity takes over.
Panic.
And that's panic, but I call it stupidity because what happened to me, I got the flashlight, but I didn't turn it on, and I start running. I couldn't find my bag of emergency kit.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot where it was. But if I had practiced it every night, I picked up my bag, I know where it is, I'm going to be better prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Emergency kits are important, but the idea is to get out of here and try. Excellent, you have one thing you have done, there's no glass above your head. You don't have major, in my bedroom we had huge glass in the back and cabinets both sides. They fell. That cabinet, if it happened, you have your pictures on there. Our anchor just came all down. This heavy thing came down.
And that's heavy too.
This is pretty heavy, you know.
Yeah.
But remember, these things are going to open.
Yeah.
They're going to come out loose right away. And when this opens, can you imagine what this is going to do? It's going to fall, everything inside out, and this door is going to be on your way. Mr. Robertson has done something great, you know. He has not placed anything on the top. Because if many of you have anything on the top above your bed, if those things are not properly anchored, all of those items are going to fall down onto your legs. Whenever you are asleep, they can hurt you. As George says, you know, flying things can damage more than anything else. A lot of pots and pans and cups and mugs and china and refrigerator is in there, your oven is there, your dishwasher. All of these things, all these drawers are probably going to come open and things are going to be on the floor. I have noticed something, you have done something great. You put this. Okay. This is wonderful. But what is going to happen, whatever is inside, these things are going to fall. But you had a little stick in here. Many residents have ideas, and George has seen, you can buy these plastic things, you know, you can lock them from inside. What it does is it protects things from falling. They may still be damaged, but they won't fall out on the floor because everything on our kitchen floor was there, all over. Dishwasher, the trash compactor went inside because of the force is so much, you know. Refrigerator probably will open. Things will fall out of the refrigerator. This oven door probably will open if the earthquake happened. All of your things, anything you keep here, most of the things are going to open up and fall down. Another important thing, you know, I'm trying to notice in your kitchen, and I found it already. Keys. Mr. Robertson and Mrs. Robertson come home, and this is where they put all their keys for their automobile, for door entry, any other keys that you have. You've probably been putting them right here. Chances are very, very strong that this thing is going to come down. And the keys are going to be somewhere. If the refrigerator comes out, the keys are going to be buried under there somewhere.
One item that we should put on tape. These rods, before the quake, were setting down behind in the stove here. On the 16th, wife, for some reason or other, said we ought to put these rods back up on the... So on the 16th, the night of the 16th, she had put these rods back up on the doors.
Great.
And we know what happened on the 17th, so.
See, that's preparedness. If your wife did this, rather than doing it on the 16th, if this was a habit, that every night before you shut the light off in the kitchen, she put all these things, that was the last thing she did.
Tanker.
I know.
But I'm thinking about it. This is the only thing that fell was this. And it went backwards.
But if it was a big one,
Oh,
you know,
yeah, oh, yeah. Well, you can see here, look here.
see this VCR, this TV, this thing, all these things are going to fall down. All of these things. And your file cabinet, these drawers are going to open up.
Now,
They're going to come out.
we found out that this one here,
It's locked.
well, it's the one that's catching, the others are not.
There you go.
And we're gonna find out why,
And-
because I'm gonna try to find out why this is not locking onto here.
See, when this opens, it's going to hit your lamp.
And then lamp's gonna go.
Lamp is going to go. Pictures are going to come out. That thing in the corner, it's not anchored, right?
Nope.
It's going to probably come down depending upon how the earthquake is. The stuff in there, which is very expensive,
Not a brick rack.
it's going to be damaged. It is going to be damaged. Again, there is, somebody must be wondering, well, how well prepared I want to be. Bedford, as the official emergency preparedness coordinator, can only give information to people. But I know you and I both been emphasizing now that you have to practice the preparedness. That's the key.
Very good.
We want to help you with this thing.
Excellent.
Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything we talk about it later, we will discuss
Thank you, sir.
that. Sure.
Get it all put together and
Yeah, that's good.
have a little.
This is the disaster preparedness manual, which has been prepared by the Golden Rain Foundation Disaster Preparedness Coordinator George Bedford, and we have provided copy of this manual to all of the Mutual and Golden Rain directors. Thank you, ma'am. When your president and the Mutual 11 asked me to come and speak with you and share with you the earthquake preparedness or emergency preparedness program, what we have in Seal Beach Leisure World. And she also asked me to share with you some of my experiences that I have recently gone through the 6.8 earthquake in Northridge. As most of you know, I live in Northridge, very close to the epicenter. It's about less than 2.5 miles from the epicenter. I'm here this morning to share with you some of the experiences and how we are prepared in Seal Beach Leisure World and what we are doing to give you information that in case if ever happens here, we hope it never happens, what you're going to do and how you should react in case of an earthquake. We talk about preparedness all the time. You read the newspaper, Golden Rain News. George Bedford puts an article every week, tries to put in every week, where he shares with you many of the items how you should be prepared for a disaster or an emergency. We have also done a emergency preparedness manual. Many of you may have seen it. It has a very detailed plan that we have worked out, that we share with you how you as building captains and as board members and as residents can help and assist in managing an emergency situation. Not only that we prepared through this manual and through the newspaper articles, I'm sure you all watch television, you all have read the local newspapers, Red Cross, many other federal, state, governmental agencies send you flyers and tell you how and what you should do in case an emergency strikes, close to you, and how you should react and how well you should be prepared. For my 25-year career, I have been doing the same thing, reading, writing, going to meetings, talking to people, talking about preparedness, and talking about how and what you should do in case if you are ever involved in an earthquake situation. So you would wonder, I would say, yes, I was very well prepared. The question really is, was I prepared? I should have been prepared. I knew the manuals. I've gone over and done the drills. I have read articles. I've spoken about it. So I should have been prepared. Was I really prepared? Let me share with you my experience, how I went through the earthquake. And then you can see was I prepared or not. I think I was prepared. But 4:30 in the morning when we were awakened, not by the regular alarm clock that we all get up, when you hear the music or you hear the sound of the chimes. It was a devastated shaking. I live in a 2-story home. We were upstairs on the 2nd floor, and it felt like it went on forever. The earthquake was only for a few seconds, 30 seconds. But to us it felt like it was for a long, long time. It would never come to an end. And the first thought came to mind, is this that big one that we were talking about always? It's going to kill us all. We'll be dead. The horrible feeling comes to mind. I was in the bed alone because that night, middle of the night, my wife got up because our daughter was sick and she went into her bedroom and she just slept there. She didn't come back. So I got up immediately and sat in my bed. And the bedroom shook this way like a big locomotive train was coming. And it would not stop. Things were rattling, moving. Noise was horrendous. And the electricity went away. In the first few seconds, electricity was gone. The house was pitch dark. And yell to tell my children, don't move, stay where you are. That's all I could tell them. And probably they couldn't hear me anyway. They were on the other side of the bedroom. My of the couch, and sleep in the family room, not in his own room. Earthquake stopped. Couldn't see nothing. We were prepared, right? We all have flashlights, we have emergency kits, we know where our shoes are. All those things we talked about. The moment the earthquake stopped, stupidity took over. I did grab my flashlight, but didn't turn it on. And began to run out of my bedroom, looking for my 2 daughters and my wife. And we were upstairs, and they were running. On the way, I jumped over things. Things were falling all over in the bedroom. And I don't know how I got out of my room. Came outside on the landing on the upper floor. And my wife and my 2 daughters, somehow they came. And they were screaming and yelling and crying, literally. And we thought we were going to dash out of the house, right? Want to look for our son. Where is he? He's downstairs. We began to go step down. We have about 14 steps in our house. Can you imagine if those steps had collapsed? Earthquake didn't kill us, but us not thinking about it, we would have gone down and been dead there inside. Well, luckily our steps did not completely demolish, and we were able to come down. Floor. It was dark. I still had not turned my flashlight on. We're just running. And I'm going to go that hallway to look for my son. On the way,
I had not put my shoes on. Didn't have my emergency kit with me. But we were just running, looking for him. And lucky enough for us that our son got up on his own and he realized that I was coming. He began to yell, "Don't come here, Dad, don't come this way." And I was only maybe a few feet away from the broken fish tank. If I had walked over that with my wife and with my children, earthquake didn't kill me, but that would have definitely killed me. Sat there and bled to death. Came out the other way, got my son, and now we are running still. We go to the main door because we're going to get out of the house, right? At night before we go to sleep. So the intruders would not come. So we are all standing there. By the way, my mother lives in Nito. She was standing there too with us. What are we going to do? Can't go out, can't go in. And the earthquake, I'm describing this to you in the first minute and a half. That's all it took. I mean, the speed was so amazing. We came out and we are standing there. Now we wanted to go back in to get the keys. You know how dangerous that is? That was the second stupid thing we did. My son and I went back in to look for. And we turned the flashlight on. I don't know how we found one set of keys. But to tell you the story about the keys, every night when we go home, we have an automatic garage door opener. We go through the garage, we park our cars, and as we enter on the hallway, there's this huge fish tank, right? On top of that fish tank, we had this nice little silver bowl. In that silver bowl, we come in and we all put our keys in there. You remember what happened to the fish tank, right? So the keys and the fish tank, they were all on the floor, and how are we going to look for them? Well, we found one set of keys. We went back out, got out of our hallway, and got into the street. Where are the cars? The cars are inside the garage. We had the car key, so we can go sit in the car, right? Well, lucky enough for us that we have one car, because all of my family drives, so we have more than two cars, So one of our car was parked, and it happened to be that we had that particular key. We opened the car, and I put the family in there. We sat, and we're looking at each other. Cold, dark, not many clothes on, confused, terrified, all of that. We're sitting in the car, and now the time is beginning to pass. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. Neighbors are beginning to come out now. Everybody's looking for their children, their family, their home, what happened to them. Well, we sat there for a few more minutes, and then we said, you know what, we got to go get some clothes. Cold. My son and I went back in again and grabbed some clothes, some blanket, whatever we could find anywhere, and inside dishes, the fish tank. There, we have gas in our house, so we've been shut it off. Now we got to go to the main street to shut the main water valve off, and you know how difficult that is. My wife slept with an IV on and off, and I knew it too, But my God, that's changed. We scratched both cars. We had damage to our car of almost $6,000-7,000. So the water is running on top of the car, and you know what else we do? I've been living in that house for 14 years now. And you would not believe the amount of stuff that we collected was in that garage, right? Upside down from floor to the ceiling. And 2 cars are in there. And I don't need to tell you where all that stuff was. It was on top of the cars, everywhere. Everything came crumbling down on the car. We went back, got some clothes, we came out, a few more minutes passed by. Lucky enough that I had telephone in my car, that I was able to call security chief here. And I asked him how things are here. And we implemented our program. Security chief was on job immediately within the first hour and a half. George Bedford was all there, and our things began to go into motion. I got the report. There was no damage in Seal Beach Leisure World. So now I could concentrate on my family and look at what we have to do. The light came on. Never saw any police car. Never saw any fire department. Never saw anybody coming to our street. We turned the radio on, and now we're beginning to find how big the earthquake was. And aftershocks are coming. What are we going to do? We're sitting there looking at each other, and what are we going to do? We go to the neighbors, we're trying to help other people, we're trying to find where things are. And we thought, hey, you know what? We had that emergency kit. Where is it? Couldn't remember where the kit is. Didn't bring it with us, but even if we could remember it, it probably is already buried under the stuff, either in the room or in the garage or somewhere. Couldn't find it. So we're sitting in the car, more time passes, Now we are at 7 o'clock and we're getting to listen to the report. We can look at each other's face, But in the first 30 minutes, another thing happened. What happens when you get scared and terrified and nervous? You gotta go. Right? My mom wanted to go, my wife wanted to go, everybody wants to go. They gotta go to the bathroom. Can't go inside the house. We don't have portable potties. I don't have a motor home. We are on the street. But you know what? We had to do it. There was no way. Either the car was going to get messed up or we're going to go out and do it. Everybody did whatever they had to do. We did not have water. We did not have basic necessities because the preparedness that we did, that I learned, I was educated with, I had not practiced it. Whenever we do drill here in Leisure World, many people frown, they don't want to get involved in that because it's too much work to do. I want to share this with you, that we need to practice our preparedness. We are very well prepared. We know what we have to do. We know what we have to store. We know what we got to be acting when this emergency strikes. Exclusion. Now the damage to your personal property is not covered by the mutual corporation at all, even whether they have earthquake or they don't have earthquake insurance. So your belongings got to be insured by you. And if they were damaged during the earthquake even, if you don't have a coverage which specifically says earthquake damage coverage, they may not cover. You be totally responsible for all of the belongings. And the damage by water, fire, if fire took place, which in Seal Beach Leisure World probably chances are very less, but it could happen because you don't have gas. It's all electric. Electricity will... Have your emergency kit with you. It's closer to you, so you can grab it and run with it. And some of us need glasses. Can you imagine seeing in the dark and not even having the glasses with you? Can you find them where they are? No, you won't find them probably. Unless you keep them in the same place every single day and you'll be able to grab them. And what about the keys? You know where we keep our keys. Half the time we can't even find during the daytime, right? I forgot where the keys are. If you look in the purse, there is tremendous amount of stuff in there, and the keys are somewhere down. You're looking for it. Keep the keys with you. Another thing, medication. A lot of us need specific pill every day. If we didn't take it, it would be very serious for us, if we didn't take that medication. You got to have that medication with you. My mother takes a Synthroid pill every day. Of all the stuff broken, even that fish tank, I got it still. I haven't thrown it away. They may ask me, Mr. Rang, you're just making it up. Then what I'm going to do is I have a video of my house that we have party pictures, people go and look at party pictures. People may go, you may ask one of your neighbor, you be my witness, you give a certification. I had these things in my house. If a fire occurred, right, your apartment is burned completely, and you don't have a list of things, but you have coverage. You have to now prove to the insurance company how much of item, dollar value you had in your apartment and what they were. Now it's your choice whether you buy them things, but couldn't even get to them. Or didn't remember to get to them. And the reason did not remember, because we had not practiced preparedness. I want to share with you, when your mutual asked me to come, and many other mutuals are talking about, that we must practice preparedness. You, as building captains, and as residents of Leisure World, you are probably living in one of the safest communities. We are well prepared here, but we got to practice our preparedness. We got to know in our own homes. I took a tour, and we're making a video of this, and we took a tour of a couple of the apartments in here. Only share this with you because I've gone through, and I think there are some lessons to be learned. I asked that question to myself, am I really prepared? And the answer comes back, I was really not prepared. I thought I was prepared, but I was not prepared because I did not practice it. You can practice, you can help survive other people probably and yourself better than anybody. I hope none of you have to go through an earthquake that we went through. And I know you felt it very, very severely here too. But can you imagine the intensity so close to the epicenter? It's beyond description. I share my plight with you, not to scare you, not to tell you what you should do. I am sharing this with you as my personal opinion. Hope that if it helps you, even if it helps one person in Leisure World who may not get hurt if the earthquake was ever to come. I'm not predicting the doom that earthquake is going to definitely come here, but if it does, at least you will have a chance to survive. You may have your keys with you, you may have your glasses with you, you may think about your purse, you may think about your wallet, you may think about your shoes, you may store your things, you may be able to save some of your personal belongings that you love so dearly. And we hope that most of you carry personal property insurance. I am very lucky that I have insurance, but I have a very large deductible that I got to meet before the insurance company pays for it. In the valley, they're talking about numbers. 70% of the people have no insurance. So you got to go apply for the grants with the federal government, with the state government. You look for all those things. But you can never replace your personal belongings if they were not protected. A lot of the things we had, they're gone. Even if they give me the money, I won't be able to replace them. Pictures, albums we had, they're damaged with water. Protect them. Inventory everything. Look for what you have in your house. So in case you have fire or any other damage, you'll be able to present the list of things to the insurance company. So I share these things with you because I have gone through an experience that I have. Swimming pool, the golf course, the clubhouses, the administration building, the medical building, the main streets, that is all Golden Rain Foundation responsibility. Golden Rain Foundation would have to figure out how they're going to rebuild and fix all of their trust property. Valley, streets, roads, stores, businesses, everybody suffered damage. You couldn't find grocery, you couldn't find water, you couldn't find anything. So you had to have things to survive for the first few hours or first couple of days.
Now you can wave your hand or something, George.
Welcome to all you people that like to see pictures of earthquake preparedness. Now I'm going to open the door, and Hal can take a look through the door and see what you come upon when you first open and come in. See it all right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Oh, that's neat.
We have the television camera setting here waiting to record all of your different voices, so you fellas are going to be on TV this morning, and I'm in room 11 with all the paraphernalia running here. Red lights are on and all that sort of good thing. We're trying to show how our amateur radio fits into the preparedness program that we have here at Leisure World. So Ash, go ahead. I'm sorry to have bothered you, but keep in mind that if you want privacy, this is not the place. KA6ZTZ, pick it up. WB6OLZ with the group standing by.
George, you bypassed Bill, FOI. Pick it up, Bill. Scan, this is KE6FOI. I hope you can pick me up at the 1/2 watt transmitter output. If this is not doing the job, I can move it up to 3 watts. I am standing next to the U.S. Submarine Veterans of War II, National Memorial West at the Seal Beach Naval Weapons Station.
We'll be able to get that amplifier on the air at the bird setting. That's good news, but thanks for bringing that along. The last mobile I have to relay is K1DEG, my shuttle watching partner from Christmas, Mobile 4. How you doing, Dick?
This radio that we're looking at here is designed to cover long distances, and from this location we have talked to South Africa, and we've talked to Great Britain, London, and so we can talk to almost any state in the Union. And after an emergency, there's a lot of people that like to pass messages to make sure that their loved ones are okay here at home, and so this radio is set up to make that kind of a communication. So this is part of our setup that is always ready to go. Up on the roof we have a big beam antenna, which are in the area of Seattle, Washington. And if I want to make a change on that, then I put the brake release on and start turning. There we go. Now we're rotating around to a distance more east. Now we're pointing almost to Florida. I think we'll move back to the other radio and see if some of the fellows are still talking. K6LQL and the group WB6OLZ. Well, while you fellows were talking, I took a break and went over to the long distance radio and showed that off to the cameras, explained how we can talk to people all the way from London to South Africa at this point. And so this should be of interest to people that want to know, do we have a communication system here in Leisure World? And the answer is very definitely. We have several we have the 2-meter rig, which we do for local, and we have the other one that's long distance over here, which goes all the way to South Africa. And we have Citizen Band, which makes it possible for us to talk to motorhomes and other types of operation where they have it set up in the radios, in the rigs. So with that, I'll turn it on over to Kim, K6GCT, WB6OLZ with the group standing by.